Just a moment. We have about an hour to do this, and I would really like for us to have conversation and also discuss. Maybe we can even use uh, someone's business as an example. So I'll try as much as possible and see how I can do this in about say 45, 50 minutes so that we have chance to have a proper discussion. For me, this is one session that is important for entrepreneurs. It's important from every business owners, even entrepreneurs. It's about solving problems to bring about better products, bring about change in our businesses and what have you. Just like I've been introduced, my name is Jide. My father's name is adeyemi. I'm privileged to be leading an organization called Big and Bold Communication as Group CEO and Chief Brand Strategist. I'm a passionate Nigerian. I'm a brand strategist. I'm a speaker, and of course, I'm a tourist. I'll play this video again, and I will take comments for what you see and what you understand. If there's anyone that want to speak, you can let me know. If not, you can just type in the box. What did you see and what comes to your mind when you see this video? Quickly, we don't have time. Thank you very much, Oyetunde Daniel. We shouldn't rush into things. We should be focused. I like that. That's a very, very clear explanation, and I really like it. It speaks to what I have in mind. I'll take like 2 other comments and we'll delve straight into it. Tell me what you see. Tell me what message you get from this, any learning from this video. Take time before taking actions. Very good. A lot of entrepreneurs, we jump into our business, we bring products into the market without design thinking, without thinking through them. Some people, because other people are doing it, and you want to do the same thing, and then you jump into it. And we see that the business suffers, we see that the product becomes a failure, and we're not able to achieve our goal. What design thinking helps us to do is not to rush into anything. It takes us through a process before you bring a product or service into the market. And then you understand what this product is. You understand the target audience, the consumers you want to sell to. You understand what their need is before we come into the market. A lot of time we don't want to test the product and you are so excited and you rush out there and then it doesn't work. So we must know that the competition out there is stiffer than what we know before. And now it's very tough out there. I was speaking at an organization's retreat, and we're talking about strategic leadership and design thinking. And I mentioned that there's absolutely nothing you are bringing into the market that doesn't exist. If it is not exactly what is there, then it's an adaptation. Almost everything out there exists, and the consumers are so aware and they have a whole lot of options. The question is, how do you break into that space and bring in something that is unique, that fits the need and the want of the consumer? And that is one of the essence of design thinking. And this is what design thinking is coming to help business owners, is coming to help entrepreneurs to do. First question I ask anyone is, what is design thinking? When you hear the word design thinking, what comes to your mind? You are going to be part of this class. What are our expectations? I want everybody to just drop one or two comments. What do you think? What are you expecting to get from the class? When you hear that phrase, design thinking, is used on daily basis in every business conversation now. What is it that comes to your mind? And then second thing, what is our expectation in this class? And after seeing a couple of comments, I will just delve straight into it. And I will appreciate if we can make this class more interactive, purpose-driven thoughts, starting from the problem, working backward to create solution. Temitayo Shogunle, God bless you. I love this. Starting from the problem and working backward to create solution. I don't know why you are not the facilitator for this session. It's a very, very good point that you just make. Purpose-driven thoughts. Sarah Uti said purpose-driven thoughts. It's indeed a purpose-driven thought, but there's a process around it. And that is what we're going to look at. As simple as it is that we can say is working backward to create a solution, even after we have started from the problem, we need to understand what is the process that we take from point A to the last point. So for me, design thinking is a people-centered approach to finding solution to complex problems. It's a very simple thing around you are trying to look for solution for a challenge, but then you are focusing on the people. And why I like talking about design thinking is a lot of time, some of us that are bringing product into the market, we create product for ourselves. We don't create product for the people. Because you like a particular thing doesn't mean that the people out there are going to like it. So in essence, instead of focusing on whether or not an idea is technically possible or it is economically viable, what design thinking starts to do is to find out what the user really wants. What is it that they need? What is it that the users are looking for? What is the gap that has been created out there in the market and the consumers are looking for solution? I love what Jennifer Greenwood says when he says, you need to turn ideas into stories that matter to people. Design thinking is creating solutions that matter to the consumer, solutions that matter to the people. And I love how this is explained in Philippians 2:4. Can go into your Bible and see what the Bible says about Philippians 2:4. It said, do not merely look out for your own personal interest, but also for the interest of others. And I think design thinking came from the Bible. It is about looking for the interest of the consumers. It's a very clear thing. Do not look out for your own personal interest. Many businesses are not successful today. Many products fail because we're focusing on profit. We're focusing on return on investment. We're focusing on why you started a business, which is some self-gratification. But when you begin to put the consumers at the center of everything you do, then you begin to do design thinking. And I'm going to pause again and ask a question. This truck is stuck under the bridge. If it moves back, the truck gets more damage. If it moves forward, there's a lot of damage to the truck and the bridge. And you are passing by this truck, and then somebody stop you and say, oh, how do you advise to get out of this problem? What would be your advice? I would like to take our response. How would you advise this person to get off and get the vehicle off the bridge? It's stuck already. Moving back will cause damage. Awesome, 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 awesome. Fantastic people in this class. So rather than thinking of, oh, move forward, increase speed or whatever, you simply deflate the tires. And I'm so excited with the people in this class. So when you deflate the tire, then you're able to move. So it's a thought around providing solution that helps the consumer. And that's very awesome in terms of your response. I really like it. Now, in talking about design thinking, I've said that it's a user-centered effort. And of course, it's a user-centered, creative, and collaborative problem-solving methodology. I'm going to break this down. When we say it's a user-centered, creative, and collaborative problem-solving methodology, what it means is, even though you are providing solution for the user and you are focusing on the user and the solution is creative, it must be collaborative. Collaborative because you are going to work with people. Collaborative because you require different skills in design thinking. Collaborative because you also need feedback for some people. Some people need to do a critique on what you are doing. And that is why it is not a one-man, design thinking does not work for a one-man business. If you are a one-man business, then you need to bring resources together for design thinking to work for you. Design thinking describes attitude and a way of thinking about one's participation in the problem solving situation. So what we're going to be looking at in the next 40 minutes or thereabout is how we're going to practice these two aspects. And what we'll be talking about is design thinking, of course, is user-centered. It's a creative and collaborative problem-solving methodology. What does this say? As the lead, let me use the phrase lead entrepreneur, you need to understand what product you are bringing to the market. You need to understand how this product solve problem of the consumer. You need to understand who are the target audience. I say this and I don't get tired of saying it, that the housewife in Lagos is different from the housewife in Osogbo. And when these two housewives, you think they have similarity, the housewife in Aba is extremely different to the housewife that you see in Malumfashi, that you see in Zaria. In some cases up north, even the husband is the one that goes to do the shopping. So when you are targeting certain products because, oh, it's a product that you find women buying in Lagos or buying in Enugu, it doesn't mean that you have to target the same product as women up north. So you need to understand the consumers from one place to the other. We've had a conversation with a prospective client who wanted to do the laundromat business. You know, when you set up a place, you have washing machines there and dryer. People come, they do their dry cleaning themselves. They remove it and put it in the dryer, and then they pay and they go. And then this person launched somewhere in Yanopaja, and nothing happened to the business. Now, the concept was taken from somewhere maybe in Lekki or what have you. The same business was moved into Allen Avenue now, and then there is a queue. People have to queue. Now, the consumer in this different location, they differ, and that is what determines whether it works in one place or it doesn't work in the other place. So in design thinking, you need the entire team, and that is why it's talking about a collaborative team. So you need to be able to test your assumptions against real users. And when I say real users, I don't mean your family members alone. You need people who can give you a very honest feedback about the product. It is important for you to know whether it is visible in terms of maybe technicality, you are using technology or what have you. You must understand every part of the product. And then you need insight into the design. Now, if it is visible, the next question to then ask is it viable? It must be visible. At the same time, it must be viable. I'll go straight into this and then say that developing an innovation mindset and toolkit you can use to guide your team or organization strategy is very key when we're doing design thinking. This does not necessarily mean that, oh, you need a consultant. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need an algorithm and all of that. You can just design a simple toolkit, like a simple workbook to say that these are the components required for this product, and these are the things that is taking it into the market. These are the consumers. This is how they buy. This is who they are buying currently. This is why they are buying. Is cost important to them or quality? Is convenience what they are looking for, or they are interested in going and get it themselves? When you put all of this into place, then you know who is it that you are developing for. But before we go into that, as you develop this mindset to do this toolkit, it's important that you understand the concept, you understand the key component. How do you approach a problem using a very structured method of gathering observation, breaking the process into milestones? And when I say structured method of gathering information, that's why we're talking about a toolkit. So it's not just saying that, oh, everybody, let's come together and talk about this. No, you must develop a structure. You must develop a toolkit. You must develop a workbook that you go through to say from this point to this point, and then develop a team. Let different people from that team have different responsibility. And by doing this, you need to apply creative solution and behavioral change analysis to your innovation development, and of course to your internal team process. I don't want to scare anybody away by saying you have to develop team. It doesn't mean that you need to employ a lot of people. You just need people to work with in getting this product out, in even creating the product or creating the services. And you can leverage friends and family so that you are able to develop something that is beyond you. And one of the things we need to do when we're doing design thinking is what is called empathy. If you practice empathy, you're able to apply a human-centered approach to your design technique. And what you are trying to do is such that you need to have like a user research attitude. You need to have a user experience. There's this thing we do where we're doing development for retailers. You have a journey plan. So when people come into the store, where is the first place they go to? How do they move within the store? I saw a gas station recently and it was full of chaos. Why is it full of chaos? The gas station does not have an entrance and an exit. So you can come in from anywhere. So the consumers that will be coming there to buy were not put in into consideration. And there's some people when they're coming and they see that there is some bit of orderliness, they don't want to wait and they just go. So it affects what is it that you are doing. So when you are doing this design, you can stop me and ask questions, please. So there's a cross-functional team that represents key areas of expertise. I will show a diagram where this is. The key areas of expertise can be one, technology. By technology, we mean you know what is visible. The system, the mechanism, or the science that makes something work. The tools and the materials available to work with. And of course, you need to know the business. Knowing what is the business viable in the first place. So the goal of the organization, is it alignment to what our mission is? Does it fit the strategic direction of the organization? The financial and the human resource that is required, is that in place? Then when you now talk about the user, you have to know the particular need and want of a population of user. Please underline the word population of user, because if you talk to 2-3 people, it doesn't mean that you have been able to get what the users want. So you need to have time to talk to as many people as possible. Also knowing about the context and how that context affects the potential solution that you are bringing into the market. It becomes very, very important. So when we look at the diagram that I spoke about, first thing that we have to do is the need and the desire. Does it align to the user and their context? By context, it could mean different things. So let me use an example of let me use a tailor, for example. If a tailor delivers your outfit Some people, I want to take the outfit and straight up from my house, I'm going to a function. There are some, when you get the outfit from your tailor, you have to dry clean it because it gets dirty in the process and it's not dry clean. So it is not enough for such a client as myself to just get the outfit. I need to get it and then straight be able to move. So that is my desire. What is the population that wants that? And that you want it on the go and you want to fly immediately. Now, it is not also important to just make a great outfit. The outfit that is for Christmas, is it delivered before 24th or is delivered on the 27th? So when it aligns to the user, I want a great outfit, but I also want it to be delivered to time. So you need to understand that. When we talk about the technology part, how visible it is, this thing that we're doing, can it be done? And this is not about, oh, impossibility is nothing. I have faith and what have you. And I'm not fighting our faith also as a child of God. But we have to ask ourselves, can this be done? Does it really work for the market? And that is where we now move to viability, which is business. Does it fit the goal of the organization? If the product is amazing, will it guarantee return? A product might require many types of expertise to solve. In fact, it might require a lot of iteration. And that is why we talk about the fact that you need a team of people to work with to target the best solution. If I'm developing a product and we have to develop an app, and that is how people will access the product, I don't have technology knowledge. I need somebody who is skilled in that place to develop it for me. But even when somebody has developed it, I need another person to also check to be sure that what we have developed suits the purpose we want to use it for. So the team will then be able to practice design thinking. And the team that are able to practice design thinking, they are more powerful when members have diverse perspective and areas of expertise. And when you're doing design thinking, please, you don't have to get angry at a member of the team who is always shutting things down. As a matter of fact, you need such people. You need what you call the devil's advocate in your team. They help a great deal because at times, even when they criticize unnecessarily, they help you as a team to be able to take a second look at what you are doing, take a third look, a fifth look if necessary. Design thinking, it does not just require a plan A, it requires a plan J, because we need to do different iteration, and at times it makes the thing get better. So it requires that all members of the team understand what we're doing, everybody understand user research to uncover the real need and desire of the target market. In fact, more than simply understanding user research, design thinking requires that you place the need of the user and your understanding of their problem at the center of what it is that we're doing. And it's not a job that one man can do. Because even if you are skilled, you are very good in research, you are very creative, you are awesome, your ideas alone cannot bet what you're looking for. You can be the initiator, and then there are people who help you to critique it. You cannot be the same person that will do the critique. As a matter of fact, because you are in a hurry, you have spent a lot of money, or you have investors, you want to go straight into the market. But you are working with a team, and then somebody say, we need another iteration that will further move into solution. And one of the beauty of this for me is that the more iteration you do, the more you also see that you are making progress, you are making impact. So you need to think through your solution with the people in mind, increasing the likelihood that your user will be happy with your solution. If you have done everything that is needed to be done and you are excited that, oh, people will be excited about this product, they will praise it, they will like it, oh, this is better than all the fintech that we have, you have added an extra to it and all of that, you must have to look at all the context. And the more work you do, the more you get happy that, okay, people will like this. Then design thinking will now what's it called? It help you to do problem solving methodology that can help in a different way for your business to be more successful. Let me use I will use the process to talk about it. But then before we go into that, what design thinking is not, so that I don't like us to leave the session with a mindset of what it is, and then some people get it wrong, what it is not. It's important that we understand what this is. Oh, somebody said you can't hear me. Okay, another person said they can hear. So you can sign out and sign in back if you cannot hear. Now, the first thing to look at is the word design. Design simply is a plan. It's a drawing. It's a process that you put in place that shows you how something works. It could also be like series of options when deciding to look at a function or an object or whatever the case is. So purpose of design thinking is not simply to make something attractive. And I need to stress this. I'm into marketing and brand management. A lot of time I see a lot of products with very great aesthetic, and then it doesn't have functionality. So look at aesthetics and functionality in a different way. If you bring out something and it looks beautiful, but then is it functional? So there are reasons why phones are designed to have particular kind of shape. There's a reason for it. So, and it must be functional. So the devices with the proper edge are making grip difficult. And then they felt that, okay, if the edge is smooth and then when you grip, it becomes easy to grip. It's not just design, there's a functionality that goes into it. So the question is, when you are doing your own, do you pay attention to how something looks? Or were you just concerned with the kind of material, whether it accomplishes the desired task, or how it works within the user personal work life, or how much it costs to create and so on? There are times when, and I speak to the guys who are into technology here, there are times when you take us through unnecessary user experience process. And then people say that, oh, I have to click this, click that, click this, that before I get into the process. And then it becomes very boring. Okay, I got a question about iteration. So iteration is a first sample, second sample, third sample. So I did this phone and it comes with 50 gig. And then by the time I decide to say, okay, some people want bigger memory. So I do 52 gig is another iteration. And then the first iteration is black. And then there are people who don't like black devices. So we decided to do another iteration and introduce different colors. So iteration is different stages of the product. So the first one that will bring you to the market, we test it, and then we get feedback, and when we do another one. So that's iteration. Now, I'm talking about the fact that we need to pay attention to how something looks, and also pay attention to the work it does. So it's not just enough for something to look very nice. It is important for it to be functional. And this is very important. Now, I will then break it down to say that design thinking is not just design. It is not just thinking. It is not just being creative. It is called design thinking simply because it represents how designers go about solving problems. So if you are very creative and then all you do is creativity, it is not enough. So the creativity must be functional. I always laugh anytime I I see fashion show. So in my mind, oh, we have done a fashion show and then we're showing different outfits. Most of the outfits I see at the fashion show, people can't wear them, or maybe I cannot wear them. Some select people who are more daring can wear them. It's showing the creativity of the designers, but it doesn't tell me what they can do. And that is why, if you have noticed in the last 5 years or thereabout, proper outfit is what is dominating fashion show, not all of those fluffy things that are just somebody's idea. So let's take a look at this concept. What do we think about this idea? Here is simply a chair, and it has 3 functions. It's a chair, it's a storage, and it is an ironing board. So what kind of design thinking that went into this? It's simply a design for people who do not have space. So imagine you in a studio apartment. Thank you very much. It's a multi-purpose thing. You got it right. It is multi-purpose. Now, it is not just multi-purpose. It is multi-purpose simply because this, it could serve a purpose of somebody that does not have space. Maybe I'm a student, I live in one room, so I don't have the luxury of putting an ironing board somewhere in the room, at the same time having chair. So, and I still need to keep things in there. I don't know, many of us would have seen a bed that has drawers by both sides. And then in that drawer, you can put your duvet, you can put your bedspread. It serves different purpose. So the kind of thinking that went into this is to understand that the consumer does not have a space, and because they are short of space and they need all of these things, it's then put into one design, and then it creates an amazing product. Why I'm using this example is because I don't want us to then leave this session with the mindset that design thinking is about what do I call it now? It's about technology, it's about software. No, it's simply how you improve what you are doing with the consumers at the center of everything you are doing. Guess what? Aside the consumer that this is targeted at, some other people will want it. Now, let's look at the process. I'm going to use 2 of these graphics so that we can understand. The first thing to do is to do research. The second one is the ideation, and the third is prototyping. In doing research, initial problem description, what gap exists out there in the market? What is it that consumers are looking for and they are not able to get? It could be what exists already. People are already doing a shoe, but then there's something missing about shoes. The shoes you have seen, finishing is the problem. So it doesn't look like those designer shoes. Or you've been able to provide solutions to people like us that have, what do they call this thing now? Yoruba people call it okese. So when the upper part of your leg is high, and then you tell someone that you have this issue, and then when they make shoes for you, Because they have put so much space, then it's not firm. And if they don't put space, it becomes too tight. So is there a technology, is there a material that could provide that solution? So you need to first understand and describe the initial problem. And then we'll go into research to say, how can we make it better? Who are the people that want it? What exactly do they want? Why do they even want it? In doing research, we can use the 5 W's and H. What do they want? Why do they want it? When do they want it? Why do they want it? And how do they want it? How is simply, let's talk about somebody running a restaurant business. How is eating or takeaway? But what the consumers are looking for had gone beyond eating or takeaway. In some cases, they want to come and eat in and have like their birthday celebration at your restaurant. In some cases, the takeaway is you deliver. They want to be able to place the order in the morning and say deliver at lunchtime. In fact, some of them want, when your guys come and deliver, it's a small thing we're having in our office. Can they also stay to do the serving for people? So it could be part of the how. So when you do the research, you then reframe the problem definition, because the research are giving you better insight and you have been able to describe the problem. And then you now take this into providing a solution. And that is what comes about ideation. So when you do the ideation, you then do the visualization and storytelling to say, bring it to life. This is what we're talking about. How will it look like? Then we go into the iteration, which is the prototyping. And the interesting thing about iteration is that you can have a first version, second version. Let's say, for example, it's a remote control. RC1, RC 0.0, 0.1, 0.2. You know, we can go as far as saying that the remote control that controls the TV, controls the fan, control the air conditioner, control the light. I don't know where that came from, but that's another version that we could do. And then we go into testing. Testing is very important. You put it to test, and then you get feedback from people. You get feedback from different people, and then you can go into the market. Going back to the example we shared the last time that talks about space, there's another example which is about aesthetics and functionality. So this is a photo frame that also serves as a table. It's a photo frame that serves the purpose of a table. And the chair is something that you can just put in anywhere, roll it out, and just roll it back there. We look at another model of the process. It is still the same thing, but different idea. This one is from nngroup.com. So what they start with is 3 things: understand, explore, and materialize. Understand, explore, and materialize. The first one is research, ideation, prototyping. Still the same thing. You can look at it too. Understand, explore, and materialize. This one is research, ideation, and prototyping. Now, in understanding, what do we do? Is to start with empathy. What is the state of the user? What does the consumer, what are they looking for? The consumer is tired of the kind of service they get. Why are they tired? And what is it that they are looking for? When you have a good understanding and then you're able to put yourself in their place, then you can define what the problem is. When you define the problem, you then bring about a solution by ideating and bringing about a solution. That solution, you now make it into a product, into a service, and then you prototype it. And the prototype, which is like your first ideation, you take it to the marketplace to test. By marketplace, I mean people that could help you. In fact, in some cases, you could go into a real market and test. When you test and then you get feedback, you can then do another iteration and then you implement and then it starts. And the next thing, we begin to celebrate your business success. It's important to test. Why? Because if you make cake and you think that an orange flavored cake will be something nice because a lot of people drink orange juice, many might not like it. They might not want cake that have the orange taste. Many might then like it. So how do we know? It is when we test it that we will need to know. And the summary of this is here, is in understanding, in exploring and materialize. To understand, you have to empathize, and that's the thing, to conduct research, to develop understanding of your user. And then when you combine all of your research and observations about the problem that exists, you are able to then do a definition. So you ideate, generate a range of crazy creative ideas, bring about solution, take that solution out into a physical product or services, and that is your prototype. You build real representation for range of your ideas, and then you return to your users who you have empathized for in the beginning to get feedback. And when you get feedback, all of the things that you have gotten as feedback, you put it back into the product, and then your vision come to life. Simply put, this is what design thinking is about. It's a discipline that uses the designer's sensibility and method to match people's need with what is technologically feasible and what is viable business strategy. That you can convert into consumer value and opportunity. I like this definition when I saw it, and I decided to add it into the session. There are about 3 things that jump at me in this definition if you look at it carefully. People's need, a discipline that uses the designer sensibility and method to match people's needs. And then the second thing is about being visible. The third thing is viable. It is when it's visible, it is possible, it can be done, it's viable, it will be successful. Then you can then convert it into value. And consumers can exchange this value for money. You give them value and they pay for it. I'm going to stop here and then we'll have conversation. So before you jump out there are 2 things we have been repeating, is being sure that it's visible and then it's viable. So I would say that you need to take a pause and ask yourself, how visible is this? How viable it is? And I like the last one. I'm in a different time zone now. I think it's about 1:49 a.m. I was almost dozing off. So I decided to say, okay, let me go through this again. And in the process, the idea came to my head to just express these 3. And then I added sustainability, because we've been discussing visible and viable for the benefit of everybody. So when we say visible, I'm going to explain this again. I've talked about it before. It is the possibility and the ability for something to be done. So this idea that I have, can it be done? Can we bring it to life? And it doesn't have to mean something new. Let me give us an example. When Uber came, then you don't have every other company doing cab hailing. But then somebody thought about it and said that, okay, for users who are in Egbeda and then they are going to VI, 5,000-6,000 naira becomes too expensive for them. So I come up with the idea of what is it called? Share my ride. So when you are booking the ride, you're also looking at somebody who is going the same way that is also trying to book the ride, and then you can book together and share. So when you are bringing this idea to life, you then begin to ask yourself, how visible is it? People are scared of security and what have you. Can people who live in the same area begin to book together? In fact, I thought of something that can I create a system where when people are saying that they are booking in the night for a ride tomorrow morning, and then I put my social media and everybody have to put their social media handle, and I can look through people's Facebook page and say, oh, I would like a ride with this person, and then you're able to choose who to ride with. How visible is it, despite of the complications and what have you? Those are things that we'll talk about visibility. Viability, on the other hand, is that something has the ability to be successful. There is an ability for it to be successful because it's viable. I like sustainability because some businesses come and after 1-2 years, they are no more. Sustainability is executing and maintaining that something that I'm bringing into the market, the product I'm designing, is not detrimental to the economy, it's not detrimental to the environment, it's not detrimental to the society, and it has the ability to last for a long time. People will always need food, and that is why restaurants is a sustainable business. But guess what? If over time people could not find anything interesting about your food, or it does not maintain quality, it becomes no longer sustainable. And you can have experience of one of the fastest growing quick service restaurants in Nigeria. The guys that started selling snacks for everybody, and then they were all over the place, and all of a sudden it seems like they were no more. That business is sustainable, but it is not run in a way to be sustainable because they are not looking at over time, what does the consumers want, what has changed. And when the KFCs of this world came around and they started creating some consumer experience in their store, does it erode their value proposition or not? And those are the things that lead into sustainability. I'll do a quick exercise before we go into question and answer, just to challenge our thoughts. Let's take it that you are running to escape from trouble. There are 3 doors in front of you. You have to go through one of them. Behind the first door is a raging fire. The second door has a gunman that is lurking behind it. And the third door, there is a lion that has not eaten in 3 years. If you must escape, which of the 3 doors will you use? Quickly, quickly, quickly. I'm not seeing the comments dropping. You are running to escape from trouble, and there are 3 doors that you need to go through. The first door, there is fire. In the second door, there's a gunman that is behind it. And then the third door, there's a lion that hasn't eaten in 3 years. You pour water in your body and run through the fire. Interesting. Mr. Oshino, I pity you. The one in the middle, the second one, so you can negotiate with the man that has a gun. Negotiate with the gunman. Richard Ali said you have to face your trouble. You can't go through the roof. See, let's clap for the guys who chose the third door. There is a lion that hasn't eaten in 3 years. So there's a possibility that the lion that hasn't eaten in 3 years probably not surviving again. Even if the lion survived, the lion who has not eaten in 3 years, where does he get the energy to attack? You remember the last fasting we had in church? After a week, some people who are not gentle, they became gentle. And when you see some people fasting who do not have the energy, who do not have the energy, by 3 p.m., they start looking like they've been sick for 2 weeks. So what this does is it helps you to think through and not just take decision. We started with a video at the beginning. Take your mind back to that video. You don't rush through things. You have to think through and ask yourself, what is the implication of this action? Oh, Mr. Oshinawa, you did not hear that the lion has not eaten. Now you heard. You can please feed the lion. So think through it. And the business landscape is changing. And what Charles Darwin said is just explicit for me. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. There's some of us, we have amazing business. It is not well priced. You've not seen people who feel that what you are selling is too cheap, and then they don't patronize you. And then there are people who are scared that, oh, if I put this price, people will not buy. So there's need to find a research. In fact, your research can show you that you can give different prices to different people based on their buying queue, based on their profiling and what have you. There are some people who enjoy the pleasure of saying that, oh, what they are wearing is from a particular brand. And so if you are making nice outfits, but then you don't have an Instagram handle, and some of these ladies, they want to put the name of their designer there, and so they cannot tag you. And to them, if they are not able to tag you, it means that they are not wearing something nice. Something as intangible as that becomes part of the buying decision. I do hope that I've been able to challenge our mindset and give us an idea to think. I like what Oshino John Folani said. He said, thinking is the key. So how much do you want to think about your business? Thinking is not just enough. It is design thinking. You can think and think in not a structured way. You can think and not think about the right thing. Have we asked ourselves, how does hospitals, how do they run customer service? So is it about delivering good health care or what? Or about, to some people, how they are attended to when they come into your space? To some people, it is about the fact that, I don't want to mention my hospital here, and I like the hospital. One of the things I like there is that when you go into this hospital, it's somewhere behind Excellence Hotel in Ogba. When you go into the clinic, you don't have that hospital smell. You know what you perceive in most clinic, you don't have it. So I feel comfortable sitting there. And then when doctor have to then call you, like the medical director calling you after to follow up 2-3 days that you left the clinic, and you're like, oh, they've collected their money and they are still providing service. So the process of signing in there is so seamless. So if you forget your card, you mention your name or you mention your phone number, they will dig out your place. Miracle. I don't know. I did not mention any name, but you are free to talk about. So they just input your phone number. If it is about HMO, and then you need to do a particular thing, they need to get confirmation from the HMO, they even start the process. And then you then begin to think about, so hospitals can also, what's it called? Hospitals can also do customer service, focusing beyond just providing healthcare. There's a new hospital in, what's it called now? In Ikeja, GRA. When you enter the reception, it seems like you are entering an hotel. And that have meaning to some people. Oh, somebody's asking for my name. My name is Jide Adeyemi. You can see it in my details. So let's take questions, please. Okay, I mentioned visualization and storytelling is about marketing. Now, visualization is not just about marketing. Visualization is about bringing it to life. Now, it is marketing, of course, it's advertising. You need to put a story behind it. See, people are no longer buying for the sake of just buying. They are buying story these days. What story is behind what you have? Why are you into business? Put a story behind it. Create a story around it. The next time you walk into KFC, you can read the story. You will read the story of the founder in while you are waiting there. So create a story for what it is that you are doing. You know, I like KFC a lot because of what's the name of the man now? Colin Sanders. He started selling fried chicken. There's a story around it. There's a story about Starbucks. And Starbucks does not even say they are selling, they don't tell you that they are selling coffee. They are selling an experience. They are creating a place where people can come and read newspaper, where you can hang out with your friend and then drink coffee. You see how Coca-Cola say that what they are selling happiness. And it's so funny when a carbonated drink is put across as selling happiness. It's really funny. You won't hear them say buy Coca-Cola. What they do is when it's Christmas is approaching, the campaign is about I'm going home. It's about families, it's about coming together. Now, when you sit as family, as you come together, then you can think of drinking this, having this drink. When we are with your friend, you can think of taking the drink. That is what they are selling. I'll take 2 questions and then every other person you can engage me further. Thank you very much. Yeah. Any question? When doing research, how do I generate the need of the consumers? Okay, somebody asked for the course title. The course title is design thinking. Thank you, Madam Olumide Balogun. Storytelling is such a powerful tool to be used in our, yeah. So when doing research, how do I generate the need of the customers? And then do you want to type your business? People can drop their business so that we can use practical example that we can all relate with. Okay, somebody is asking, okay, fashion design. So I'll quickly answer that. So when doing research, how do I generate the need of the customer? Fashion design is something that everybody think, oh, it is just there. And I've mentioned the need of the customer at different times. There are some people that just want timeliness. There are some people that want convenience. There are people who the outfit don't just have to be nice, which is the main thing. It must get to me when I need it. The finishing must be nice. So there's a whole lot that you have to look at. The question is, ask your friends, speak to people who are even celebrity. What are they looking for in an outfit? If I'm doing chicken feed, is it just for the chicken to get feed alone that you think the consumers are looking for? So I've done pig farm before, and one of the things we realized that we're looking for feed that can provide nutrition for the pigs. So when you're doing chicken feed, there are certain feed that people will buy, and then it will allow their chickens to gain weight. That's a huge value proposition. And then when we talk about feeding the what's it called, the animals that you have for sale. So what is the composition of that feed that you are selling? How does it help their health? That is something that you can even develop into your storytelling. It's something that you have to develop into your storytelling. For the person doing food catering, we have engaged the service of someone before, and I told our team not to engage the service of the person because I do not like the cutlery that they brought. You know these spoons that if you are struggling with some kind of meat, the spoon will just bend. So it's not about the food not being fine. It's about the fact that I don't like the cutlery. The meal presentation was not even nice to me. You know how you serve food and then you can see oil split in different parts of the plate. At times my wife jokes about this thing and say, do you want to eat design or you want to eat food? Because I make this food myself also. And setup that you come to do for us matters a lot. At times, those of you that are doing catering, we don't have problem about your food. The consumer do not have problem about the cutlery, about the presentation. They have problem about your servers who are not civil. And then they talk to people anyhow. So I don't want my guests to feel bad at my event. So I will not invite you again. Some people that does different product that you deliver, there are times when I don't want to, consumers don't want to access your service again, or they don't want to buy your product, not because of the product, it's because of the delivery guy. And you know that delivery guys can kill business. So it's then important to choose the right delivery partner for your business. You know when delivery people tells you that, oh, we'll be there by 10 o'clock, and by 2 o'clock, they are still not there. So what kind of partner are you using that can complement your business? Because there are certain people, and if we look at food catering, if I place an order, we use an app different recently in the office, and was so good. We placed an order from our office in Ireland. It was from GRA, and in less than 30 minutes it was delivered. It was so good. Because there are times when people place order for meals, and before you deliver, they are going to look for something else to eat. So it is not about the food being gege any longer. It's about meeting the time that the person needs it. So those are the kind of things that goes into our design thinking. You have to ask yourself, what is it that the consumer, what are they looking for? The people that want to sell to, what is important to them? When you know what is important to them, then you know what to sell. My daughter complained about a dress that she used for her graduation last week. And the complaint is that she needed to cut, what do you call this thing? She needed to cut out the label and said that the label itches her body. And I said, oh, you are becoming like your mom. Maybe because of my own upbringing, Paco and all of those things, label does not itch my body. But then there are consumers who are looking for the label that will not itch their body. The guy will make my outfit, they don't use label, it's printed on it. So just take time to ask questions, take time to do research, take time to find out what are people looking for. So God bless you, Adeyemi Abiodun. The adeyemi people are always doing design thinking. So engaging the right third party is also part of design thinking. As a matter of fact, the right fifth party, the right sixth party becomes very, very important. But what I want us to take away from this class today is the fact that we all need to understand there's something in marketing we call consumer insights. Is for me the most important part of any business is the consumer insight. If you understand exactly what the consumer wants, as any of you ask yourself why you buy the latest iPhone every other year. So I've been in mobile phone business for so many years, so I understand that a lot of time they just introduce one new thing. At times it doesn't have any significant what is it called? They can just change the size. They can just introduce one thing, increase the capacity of the camera, and then you queue every year to buy it. At some point, Apple realized that using the latest iPhone is a status symbol, and they've mastered the act of pre-order. So I want to be among the first set of people to use the device, and then you pre-order it. The day device is released, there is a long queue. It's just a simple change from what you have the last time. But they are selling into our psyche. They are selling into your emotion. They are selling into the feel good that some of you have, because you feel that it gives you confidence when you go for meetings and you're able to place your phone on the table, and then somebody say, oh, is that the latest iPhone? Say, yeah. I just got it. I buy the phone every year it comes out. It has no meaning to me, but it has meaning to some people. For some of us, we just want a phone that is functional and I can carry it for 2 or 3 years. It does not add to my self-confidence. It doesn't take away from my self-esteem. But there's so many people that it has a lot of meaning to. Have you noticed those who use the fold, any of the fold device or devices? A lot of time, they don't even have a need to open it because you can do everything while it is there. But they open it because it's a fold, and then people need to see that it's a fold. And that device is selling out. It's simply selling into our emotion. I can go on and on with all sorts of examples and all that. So what I want us to take home today is the fact that how do I begin to develop structure designs for the consumers? How do I begin to meet the need of the consumer? How do I also even understand what challenges the consumers have? What solution does the consumer need? because immediately you are able to understand what solution they are looking for. You are able to design for them. So don't forget our discussion that design thinking is a people-centered approach of finding solutions to complex problems. What it simply means is, instead of focusing on whether or not an idea is technically possible or is economically viable, start by finding out what the user really wants and what they really need. Thank you very much. I hope this has helped us, and I wish us all the best as we continue in all other classes. I've shared my details. If you have questions, you can reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to explain further. Once again, I want to thank the management of Covenant Capital Business School. Thank you for this opportunity, and thanks for impacting so many businesses and lives. I pray that God will also strengthen and bless you all. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Do have a wonderful Saturday.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Okay. Everyone is saying thank you in the chat. We really appreciate this gesture coming on in the class and impacting knowledge. On behalf of CCBS, we say thank you. God bless you, sir. Okay, so everyone, thank you. Please, can you complete the attendance, just fill the attendance form. The next class starts in about 13 minutes. So I'll be closing this class in 10 minutes so that I can start the next class, because we're using like the same Zoom link. So please fill the attendance link or attendance form so that we won't have issues. Thank you very much, sir. Sure you can log off at this time. Thank you, sir. Yes, thank you, everyone. Thanks for staying put. We have one more class today on corporate governance. So I'm just going to stop the recording.